Underway at the Emirates then. Arsenal losing just one of their last 28 top-flight games on home turf. Today's visitors, however, pushed them all the way in this fixture last season. So, Emma Byrne, that makes this a very intriguing encounter, especially given the week West Ham have had with this very quick turnaround.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, really, Max. They've had 2 days to recover, an evening kickoff on Wednesday, and then, of course, this game here to Arsenal at home at the Emirates. It's probably the toughest game for every single team in this league. Really, really large pitch, really big spaces to cover. And you heard Rita speak about spaces. You've heard Renee Slegers talk about West Ham being good at shutting off those spaces. Well, that's certainly one pitch that you're going to have to work a little bit harder to do that.
One of the fresh faces that they brought in was trying to burst forward there on that right-hand side. Uendo, she has Leila Vonderla just in front of her. So it looks as though that right-hand side, as it was against Manchester United on Wednesday, will be certainly the avenue for a bit more adventure getting forward as Blackstenius is in behind. And offside. Just a minute into this game. She does have a habit of making those runs off the last defender. It is always going to be a bit of an occupational hazard for a striker that likes to play on that final shoulder.
Well, the question is, would you prefer a goal and 10 offsides in a game, or no offsides and no goals? We spoke about West Ham trying to get forward and probably going to try and get down that right-hand side a lot. Seem to be certainly positioning themselves over that far side. And perhaps the fact that Arsenal have made changes in that left area is going to help them. But the problem is for West Ham that Arsenal are so good at getting down those channels as well. So it's a bit of cat and mouse out there for West Ham.
Uendo with the throw-in, looking for Shakira Martinez, who can shrug off little, and that one is just going to be a statistic at the end of this game. A shot on target, but it didn't trouble Annika Borba, who does hold on to the gloves, actually, for Arsenal, even with Daphne van Domselaar and Votakova both on the bench this afternoon. Wuppermoy for Laia Codina, a new look defensive partnership with no Williamson, no Catley. Catley, of course, out at the Asian Cup. One of many players missing this afternoon, alongside the likes of Rico Ueki and Katrina Gorry as well. Kyra Cooney-Cross, Steph Catley, Caitlin Ford.
Another reason why you have a large squad, right? It's the teams like West Ham that will really suffer with their big players missing, even though it's only Gorry missing, but the captain as well, a leader on the pitch. You can really see that already. And then, of course, I say as well, being injured, another huge player, and I think you were saying earlier, vice
Ball's delivered in towards Blackstenius, and that will trickle in at the far post. Well, immediately, Stina Blackstenius runs to appreciate the quality of the ball in. And Rita Garino will be left wondering just how her team have allowed Arsenal to take the lead inside the opening 4 minutes here at Emirates Stadium.
Oh, it's really disappointing here for West Ham. Chloe Kelly just able to get that ball in, and Blackstenius just drifting between the West Ham centre halves. It's actually Nystrom who lets her just creep in, but it's exactly where you want your 9 to be. And if she missed, then of course Olivia Smith was just waiting as well.
You can see the frustration from Garino. West Ham United picking up their first clean sheet of the season in the top flight last time out. That was only a matter of days ago. They had to work so hard to keep Manchester United at bay, but less than 4 minutes into this afternoon's encounter in North London, they are the ones picking the ball out of their nets.
So difficult now for West Ham. You prepare and you come here to basically not allow them to score, especially in the first 15 minutes, and then you take it by post, try and get to half-time. But West Ham aren't sitting off. They're trying to get forward. And if they can get that player, Shakira Martinez, on the ball a little bit more, they might have a chance.
It has gone down as a Stina Blackstenius goal. So much quality on the cross. You did wonder whether she did get the final touch. Rita Galrino has already made her mark in charge of West Ham. She surpassed her predecessor's tally in just 3 league games. She'll have to go some to spoil the party here at Emirates Stadium, although her side do have an encouraging free kick here. Tuva Hansen, one of a number of players who have travelled forward for West Ham United. And it will be Ines Balumu to whip this one in with her left foot. Nystrom Martinez up there too. It's a deeper delivery, and that one's a routine claim for Anarchy Borba.
She's been impressive, Borba, particularly aerially. She really commands her area very, very well. And of course, with Arsenal, with that zonal drop, you really do need a good keeper, a strong keeper coming out.
Lovely close control in midfield by Kim Little. Making Arsenal appearance number 403 this afternoon. Just 2 Arsenal players have featured more than their skipper. One of them sat alongside me. Although your goal tally probably needs a bit of work, Emma, compared to the Arsenal captain. 177 for her, 0 for you. What were you doing?
What was I doing? Not on penalties, that's for sure. Just don't get enough credit, the goalkeepers, do we?
So Chloe Kelly, architect of Arsenal's opener, fires in another one, looking for Lotte Wubben-Moy. West Ham clear at the first time of asking. Holmberg will recover.
Better defending from West Ham there. Obviously, they're more organised. It does worry me that they'd creep a little bit deep, and they might continue to do that as the game goes on, which they shouldn't do. It means they'll be just constantly defending, no pressure on the ball.
That's been a really impactful return to Arsenal's starting 11 for Chloe Kelly. She did assist the opener in the last league outing as well, away to London City Lionesses. For this player here, Olivia Smith.
Chloe Kelly is really, really difficult to defend against on that left-hand side, because she just cuts in. Usually the right side defender out there will be right-footed, so it's always difficult to defend on that left-hand side when she cuts in, and such a good player.
You can see here a very clear indication of the defensive structure that West Ham are looking to deploy. A 5-4-1. Trying to occupy all of the passing lanes on the pitch, but you are right, it is incredibly deep. They're aware of the danger that Arsenal pose in behind.
The other problem is Arsenal are so good at moving the ball, and they've got so many rotations. It's always difficult to try and follow those rotations and cover that space. And when they move the ball so quickly, obviously it's hard to cover the ground as well.
Here's Kim Little. Round the corner from Russo. Crossing opportunity here for Holmberg. Towards Blackstenius, it was taken off her head. Russo for Hines. Kelly in behind, 3 to aim for inside the penalty area. Went for goal herself, and that one well wide.
Yeah, disappointing outcome, but it's a great build-up play from Arsenal, particularly Chloe Kelly's involvement. Just before this was a lovely touch out on her outside, just to give it back to Russo. She'll be disappointed with that as well.
Did wonder whether she may have tried claiming that opening goal. Chloe Kelly. As it stands, it is Arsenal's leading goal scorer in the Women's Super League, who has another beside her name. Goal number 7 in the BWSL this season for Stina Blackstenius, the 4th time that she struck against West Ham United in her career. One for Smith to chase. Smith in behind Cascarino, really clever footwork. Olivia Smith to tee it up. And it did take a deflection from the shots by Alessia Russo.
Good play again, just finding that space for Smith. She's so quick and powerful. Does really well to have a little look up there and find Russo, which ended up being really good defending from Hansen in the end.
Arsenal with a first corner then of this game. Floated in by Kelly. Gunners have won 12 of their 14 Women's Super League games against West Ham. They have won their last 3 in a row since a 2-1 loss back in February 2024. I guess more concerningly, from a West Ham point of view, when you look at the players they have available in their matchday squad today, just one of them has experience of scoring against Arsenal. And that is Shakira Martinez, who's finding it incredibly difficult to get into the game at this early stage.
Well, I think as well, when they're missing such a big player like Viv Assay, not so much for her goal scoring record, because she's only scored 2 this season, but the fact is she's quick, she stretches the game, it gives them an outlet when they want to counter, which is, as we know, probably what they're best known for. Even though Shakira is an extremely good, powerful player, she has really struggled to find someone when she does win it back up there. And I do think it's Leila Bondelar who's supposed to be making those runs, but it's difficult because she's defending as well.
Being asked to do an awful lot on that right-hand side of the pitch, Bondelar, in this opening 13 minutes or so. Here's Hines. Russo in behind. Blackstenius went near. There's Smith. Very similar run to the ones that she has been really enjoying inside the penalty area. Olivia Smith unable to profit this time.
It's good play. Good movement out wide from Russo. And again, just really good cross, a look up. She knows exactly where she is, but it's good defending there from Estelle Cascarino.
Cascarino, of course, who is on loan from Juventus. She did actually face Arsenal twice in last season's Women's Champions League. Has been a crucial player for Garino ever since she joined the club in January. Hines for Caldense. Smith again able to get around Cascarino. Holmberg. Up against Siren. Siren stood tall. Blumu away, but that one's going to bounce favourably for Holmberg again.
Well, already it's all Arsenal, isn't it? They've really dominated in the first 15 minutes or so. You can see how stretched West Ham are already. That back five, as you said, Max, just trying to cover those lanes. But then it's what's happening in front of them they have to look out for, because that midfield is getting very, very stretched.
Kelly over this corner again. Fizzed in, and there was Russo arriving. Hines. Little takes over. Smith. Russo. Shifts away from her marker, stinging the palm to Shemik. It will come for Smith, and surely for Kelly. Well, West Ham continue to live dangerously.
You just cannot allow Russo this kind of space. King has done well, and Kelly should really be claiming another goal for Arsenal. But to be quite honest, I'd look at King at, can she hold that first shot from Russo? She parries it out to a danger area. But for me, the first shot should have been dealt with.
And Stina Blackstenius queuing up as well. What have West Ham got by way of response? Here's Vonderla inviting Balumu forward to join the attack. Borba took control of the situation.
It's good defending, just blocking off. They knew that Annika Borba was going to come and get that, just building that really nice relationship, goalkeeper and back line. But you can see exactly what West Ham have planned. They will overload that right-hand side and try and get this player.
May actually keep this in. She's done really well. Kelly with a low delivery. Try their luck down the left-hand side now with Hines. Here's Caldente. Last time Arsenal were in BWSL action here, she produced a wonderful assist to set up Olivia Smith against Manchester City.
What a player she has turned out to be. And, you know, changed her game a little bit. Just to play out in the wing, loved to cut in on that left-hand side, has dropped into midfield as a 6. I wasn't sure. Is Mariona a 6? Not really, but she's been unbelievable this season. In every competition, adds so much to this team.
Shemik. Under pressure from Blackstenius. Cascarino. Moy steps in. As you can see, the Gunners are goal up and also seeing so much of the ball. West Ham United having to work incredibly hard just to win it back. But as Emma's alluded to on a number of occasions already in this opening 19 minutes, once they do have it, they're finding it impossible to hold on to.
I think that is key for them, because there's no way they can keep this up for a whole 90 minutes, sitting back, sitting low, really stretch midfield. They have to have a breather, and the only time they're going to get the breather is when they're in control, which is when they have the ball.
Look at the amount of space that Kim Little has to pick her next move. Moy switches play, and that one will be way behind Olivia Smith. So it gives us a good opportunity to have another look at this opening goal.
You can see Chloe Kelly trying to get that on her right foot. We have to say, it's poor defending from West Ham, isn't it? They're way too deep. Anyway, they've dropped right onto the 6-yard line, and that's certainly nowhere that the keeper wants them to be. Leaves no space for her to come out and affect it.
Still pretty inconclusive from that angle, isn't it, as to whether Stina Blackstenius did get the final touch on that. If she did, and look, we're not doubting either of the players' honesty here, it would have been the slightest of touches. And it was Blackstenius bursting through again. Phoebe Cross, the referee, says no.
It's a lovely ball from Chloe Kelly, really lovely.
One back by Kelly. She finds Blackstenius again. Caldente, few touches from her for Chloe Kelly to set one up again. And Caldente! Leaning back, couldn't keep the strike down.
Really opening up for Arsenal. Caldente, lovely play from her. A lot of players would have shot that straight away, but then she'd be disappointed with this. It's really open for her. We've seen her put goals away far more difficult than that, but it's really good play. And again, West Ham just far too stretched. Huge gaps opening up there.
When the two starting 11s were announced, one of the first comments that we had was just how attacking the Arsenal 11 is. And I think in this game, especially with the quick turnaround, with knowing just how tired West Ham must feel, Renee Slagers has probably sensed an opportunity here to put a number of her attacking players out and look for those combinations and the interchanges between positions out there on the pitch.
When are Arsenal not attacking, Max?
That's another question, I suppose, yeah. But even by their standards.
It was great to see Chloe Kelly back and ready to go, because she is a special player. And then it just allows Olivia Smith to go on that left-hand side as well, which you'll see them interchange, allow her to come on the right-hand side. But also, it's good to see Smila Holmberg get on here. As you said, her starting debut. But when is Kimmy Little going to slow down is the biggest question for me. She looks as fit as ever. She's still dominating midfield, no matter who they're playing against. Coming up to how many games?
Today is number 403. You made it to 462, so she is hot on your heels. Blumu looking for Martinez. Easy enough for Lotte Wubben-Moy to deal with, and actually an infringement had already been made, so West Ham United do get the reprieve of a free kick just inside the Arsenal half.
Well, a moment to just take a minute and enjoy the ball. West Ham's idea is to try and get on the ball and try and switch it quickly.
Out it goes. Looking for a usual outlet on the right-hand side. And speaking of usual outlets, Manchester City leading by 3-1 against Tottenham Hotspur, and Khadija Shaw has scored a 21-minute hat-trick in that game.
Wow, that's incredible. She's in such good form, isn't she, Shaw? Really important again for City to keep her fit.
Meanwhile, across London, Chelsea leading by 1-0 at London City Lionesses. Holmberg is looking to get in behind. She came very central there. The right back just making her way across the front line again. As Codina has the ball. Hines, Caldente. A give and go. The Spaniard was very nearly in behind. That could bounce favourably for Arsenal, but Shemek is able to pounce.
Have to be careful, West Ham. It's really good combination play. And I think it was Nystrom who went over there, but that has to be cleared.
Here's Little. Finding Caldente. And as you can see, it is what you do with the ball when you do have it. West Ham United really struggling to get a solid grip of possession at the moment. You can see Garino right at the edge of her technical area. So heavily involved in everything, the Italian, but she seemed exasperated when the ball went in within the opening 4 minutes.
Well, of course, she would have set up defensively, thinking in mind to try and keep Arsenal out. Can we keep it 0-0? Because as soon as Arsenal score, it means, maybe not so early in the game, but West Ham at some stage will have to step out of that shape and will have to go for the game. I imagine it'll be later on in the second half because they don't want Arsenal to pick them off. But it's going to happen, and it has to happen unless they get a goal off the run of play. But it doesn't really look like that's going to happen, does it?
I guess one thing we could say is during the game on Wednesday evening, they kept Manchester United at bay fairly comfortably in the opening half hour or so, and then as half-time approached, they started to ramp up the pressure that bit more. We are entering that stage of this game, so it'll be interesting to see just whether we see a similar tactical shift. Zelen being kept relatively quiet by Arsenal's midfield. One back by Caldente, who's on the move here and has played a brilliant early pass for Stina Blackstenius. Šemić responds. Blackstenius denied a second this afternoon.
Good save from Šemić Kinga, but this is exactly what Arsenal will do. They'll just open up to 2 passes and it's a shot on goal. And it's something that every single team have to be careful of, but particularly the way West Ham play. When they're in possession, they're quite open. But credit to the West Ham goalkeeper there for keeping it at 1-0.
Arsenal go short from the corner. Holmberg back out for Chloe Kelly's delivery. Wouldn't quite sit for Rousseau. Smith wanted the lay back on the edge of the penalty area. And Mariona will nip in. That tells its own story. 9 shots to 1 in Arsenal's favour, and that one from West Ham was merely a sighter from Shakira Martinez inside the opening couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly obvious Arsenal are enjoying the lion's share of the ball and really testing the West Ham defence like now.
Smith up against Balumu, fancies her chances, she'll get round as well. And it's off the crossbar from Blackstenius, who could and perhaps should have had a hat-trick inside the opening half hour here.
Absolutely, Max, and you could see hands on the head. Should have been rattling the net, and Olivia Smith does what she does best. And it's so easy for Blackstenius. There's no pressure on her whatsoever. You have to look at West Ham. Who is picking Blackstenius up there on the front post? They're going to have to start sharpening up a little bit when they're defending the box.
West Ham live to fight another day. Still just 1 goal separating these two in the London derby.
And that's exactly how West Ham will want to keep it. They're not going for it. The whole game plan now is just to keep it at 1-0, hopefully going into half-time.
West Ham have conceded at least 2 goals in each of their last 7 WSL away matches against Arsenal. Feels like another Gunners' goal is on its way. Lovely turn that by Chloe Kelly. Lack the power and the strike to truly trouble Shemek.
Oh, but it's a lovely turn from Chloe Kelly, because they are being marked and followed. The West Ham defence are jumping to try and stop that, to try and not allow Arsenal to turn on the ball. It's not really working.
Bit of space though for Balumu. Martinez wanted to try to play it in field for Teneba.
No, you know, I think Martinez is a great player. She's a great signing for West Ham, but that is one thing she's going to have a look at, especially playing in the WSL. You have to retain possession. The ball gets to her, she does well to keep the ball, and then she just gives it away. Silly moments.
West Ham can recover that one all the way back to their goalkeeper. I'm just looking at some of the stats of their midfield, Emma. And Teneba, who has arrived from Vålerenga, having played against Arsenal in the Champions League, of course, did arrive with enormous pedigree. Not at this level, but she's really struggled to get herself into the game. Just 4 passes completed.
Well, they've gone quite direct as well, West Ham. It's Martinez that they're trying to get on the ball, and then Martinez is looking for Vondelor. But being quite honest, I think Teneba will be there for her defensive duties and her energy, because they're bypassing her a lot, and it's actually Balumu who's getting on the ball more as she pushes forward from that left-back position.
Hefty collision on this near touchline between Olivia Smith and Ines Balumu. May have actually been the initial trip from Mariona Caldente which caused Balumu to fall. You can't blame West Ham United for wanting to send this one into the penalty area. At the moment, they are still yet to have a touch inside the Arsenal box.
Could be from a set piece, couldn't it? Especially when you're not in possession that much, you might depend on a set piece. This is a little bit far out, I would imagine, to trouble Arsenal and Annika Borba.
In from Katie Zellem. Has been flicked on by Nystrom. Uendo's in there. The offside flag had gone up against the Japanese.
It wasn't a bad free kick, it's just in the air a long time, difficult to get any direction. It's always going to be a second phase that will score those.
Cascarino away. And once more, West Ham United are back into their defensive structure around the edge of their penalty area. Here's Blackstenius.
It wasn't Blackstenius offside this time, Max. It was her Swedish companion, Holmberg.
Well, interestingly, Smila Holmberg has been speaking recently about just what an inspiration and a role model Stina Blackstenius has been for her. So perhaps learning from all facets of the game.
Vondelor has, I'm sure, put in the most amount of mileage already out there, because what they're doing is she's just dropping into a 4 when they're out of possession defending. And then she's trying to get high into the 2, which Martinez, when they have the ball, it's a lot of work.
Punch forwards towards Vondelor. It's a clever pass in behind, and once more, Uendo is flagged offside.
It's good play, though, from West Ham. Uendo getting up from right wing back position, which again is a shift. It's a clever pass, and she is offside by quite a bit.
It's interesting, though, Emma, when you've highlighted the work rate being shown by Vondelor out on that right-hand side, we perhaps question the decision to drop Fionn Morgan to the bench this afternoon. She looked incredibly lively against Manchester United in midweek, but I guess it's just a question of fitness, isn't it, and what the coach is asking from her players when they are out on there, and to be able to do that twice in the space of a week is an incredibly difficult task.
Extremely difficult. You know, that position requires huge amounts of kilometres covered for one player, and I'm sure Fionn Morgan's was very, very high up there, so they have to consider that.
Siren was looking to break in behind. The foul had already been committed by Shakira Martinez on Laia Codina.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. It's a foul.
Well, there were a few in there. If it wasn't the first or the second, it was probably going to be the third. One over the top. Blackstenius is in behind. Smith trying to get herself into a good position. It's Blackstenius! Once again thwarted by Kinga Shemek.
Just living on the edge a little bit, and that is where the channels will open up. You're playing in this 5 at the back, but they're asking, Rita Garino's asking her wing-backs to get high, which does create those gaps in there, leaving 3 centre-backs to cover quite a wide area as well.
Little finds Scaudente. Loose from Hines, invited the challenge from Vondelor.
It's in those areas that West Ham really need to win it, and it's probably why we see Rita Garino emphasising that, because you've got Shakira dropping down and Teneba coming out, so you've really got to win it in those areas and not allow play to break from those areas, because if they do, it's 1v1 situations, and that's something you definitely don't want when you're playing against people like Olivia Smith, Mariona Caldente.
Smith loses possession. Teneba looking to release Martinez. Does she have the legs to get there ahead of Laia Codina? Not on this occasion. Good covering by the Spaniard.
It's not a bad idea from Teneba. Codina does really well to get over there. Very, very near touch from Martinez, which might have left Codina in trouble a little bit because she went to ground.
Able to get there just in time. Prior to this afternoon, Laia Codina had played just 99 minutes of top-flight football this season. No sign of rustiness there.
Well, that just explains and emphasises how good of a squad Arsenal do have.
It's another run in behind that has been timed to perfection by Blackstenius. The bounce not quite favouring her to go alone. So it's Moy who can try to orchestrate from deep. Now cross looking for Caldente, away by Nystrom. Now Holmberg. Lovely no-touch turn by Kim Little to draw the foul from Katie Zellem. Two experienced campaigners there, but it's Arsenal's midfielder who comes out on top.
So clever from Kim Little. She knew exactly where Katie Zellem was, and she knew exactly what she was doing. Really clever play. But again, it's good from Arsenal. They're just committing so many numbers up, aren't they? Like you've got Moy, centre back, coming, and she's been the support for Smila Holmberg, so wide. Very difficult to defend against such numbers up.
Inside the opening 4 minutes of this half, Chloe Kelly delivered a devastating ball into the West Ham United penalty area. She has the chance to do so in the final 4 before the interval. That one, this time, competently dealt with by West Ham United. But Arsenal will come again as they go in search of doubling their advantage before the interval.
Some moments that West Ham look like they're playing 6 at the back and 3 across the middle, because Tenema is just dropping in. She's just following players in there, and it's so difficult then for that 3 to get across and maintain possession. And then when they do, giving the ball away like that, silly situations, they'll be praying for this half-time whistle.
Tuva Hansen it was, who lost possession. She now has a tough task trying to deal with Smith. She can't. And Blackstenius had the ball taken right off her toe. Here's Hines. Codina through the lines. That's a clever touch by Russo. And went for power.
Well, if there's one thing Rita Guarino is going to be really annoyed about, is the fact that Arsenal have been able to play those central balls more than once and create a problem for West Ham more than once, because West Ham are set up to try and make Arsenal go wide in that midfield, and Russo's just doing a great job just playing in between the lines, and centre-backs don't know whether to jump or not.
And West Ham United will be delighted to hear the sound of Phoebe Cross's half-time whistle. It has been a tiring 45 minutes worth of chasing shadows out there on the vast Emirates Stadium pitch. 74% of the possession in this first period has gone to Arsenal. Just once have Rita Guarino's side been able to touch the ball inside Arsenal's penalty area. Just once have they had a shot. But that was right at the very start of this game. They have not had any joy since.
So difficult. I mean, it is so difficult for any team to come here, and we spoke about West Ham having a grueling game on Wednesday, but then to lose Asai as well is a real blow.
Well, so far it has all gone Arsenal's way. They've dominated possession, they've managed to score, but all in truth, they should have more to their name. Stina Blackstenius tapping home Chloe Kelly's cross. She's also rattled the frame of the goal. She's been denied twice by Kinga Shemik. It is just one goal that separates these two at half-time. It should, at this stage, be a valley. Half-time at Emirates Stadium is Arsenal 1, West Ham United 0. Could have quite easily had a hat-trick. So off we go then for the second half in North London. And as things stand across the Barclays Women's Super League, it is much of the same as it was at kick-off. All three Champions League hopefuls for next season, leading by a goal to nil. Emma Byrne alongside me. Emma, what would you like to see from each team in this second period?
Well, from Arsenal, I think they need to finish their chances. I think that's fairly obvious. They'd be disappointed that they haven't ranked up more goals, but they need to keep moving the ball. You know, we've seen Arsenal drop a little bit and be content as such, but they need to keep moving the ball quickly and be hungry for more goals. And then West Ham, the only thing I can say is when they do win it back, can they keep it better and relieve themselves a little bit?
Off goes Holmberg. The Gunners looking to start this second half just as they did the first. And Alessia Russo doubles Arsenal's lead just after the interval. And that will surely take the game away from West Ham United.
What a ball in from Smila Holmberg. And she's been doing that all game. Gets in really good positions, or difficult positions as it is in this case, right down. Lovely ball. She has a little look up. What a great ball that is. And Alessia Russo says, thank you very much. Really well worked goal from Arsenal. Again, in the first few minutes, the start of play. Great goal for Alessia Russo.
Arsenal game number 101. Arsenal goal number 51 for Alessia Russo.
Again, though, you have to question West Ham's marking in the box, defending in the box. That ball's coming in. Yes or yes, and you have got to pick up the players in there, particularly the big, strong hitters like Blackstenius and Russo.
Well, it's not often that they both starts for Arsenal. Quite often it's Alessia Russo who is given the nod over Stina Blackstenius. This afternoon, Renee Slager's named both in her 11. And she has been rewarded for that bold choice.
Well, those are the problems of managers who've got world-class players, and Arsenal have got two of what I consider the best number 9s in the business. Alessia Russo can play in the 10, and she's very, very good at it. She's one of the best hold-up players I've seen, but she's also an excellent runner into the channels, and we still see that from her in the 10, just not as much.
Shemik finding Nystrom. West Ham United just need to try to get themselves on the ball, a few touches to build some confidence at least. It's the second time this afternoon that a Rita Gaurino team talk would have been ruined within the opening 5 minutes or so of the restarts.
Very, very difficult. You know, at 1-0, you can still regroup. You still fight to get back in the game. 2-0, extra difficult. But I do think they need to make a decision. Are they going to play in behind Arsenal, or are they going to look for Martinez for feet? Because they seem to be a little bit confused at the minute as to what they're doing there. Somebody's got to stretch this game, and that is what Viv Asay gives you.
Well, she's had, as mentioned in the build-up to this game, Rita Gaurino, a very positive impact on West Ham United's season as a whole. But this one does just feel like a bit of a reminder of the challenges that her side will continue to face until the very end of this season. They are hovering dangerously close to that relegation playoff place. Only spared by Leicester City, who do still have a game in hand to play, but that game in hand to play will be against Arsenal, so that, I suppose, would be a bit of a reprieve for them.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, Max, you know, this game is not what you get relegated on. This is an extremely difficult game to play, and I think the most difficult game in the league in the Emirates against Arsenal. So it's not about that, it's about how you regroup and how you go and you play against the teams that you need to pick up the points against. And they did that against Manchester United. That'd be a huge, huge boost. Coming here is extremely difficult on this pitch, especially when you know you're already weakened by players' injuries or players missing. And you're going to be chasing the game and you're going to be chasing the ball.
They do have a few big games against teams around them, as it's Olivia Smith! Goodness me! Well, that would have led to an eruption of noise inside the Emirates.
We've seen it before, haven't we? I wasn't even surprised. Surprised it didn't go in. It's a good strike. She's so good at that. Patience to let it drop. Just expecting that to bounce the other side.
That's how she announced herself as an Arsenal player in this very stadium. Olivia Smith against London City Lionesses on the opening day. Half an inch lower, and she would have been wheeling away in celebration again. "52 minutes on the clock. Arsenal firmly in control. 2 goals to nil here against West Ham United, with a free kick to be delivered by Chloe Kelly. Just lashed as far away from goal as possible by Martinez. We know the pattern of the game already, even when West Ham United do have the ball. There will be a quick turnover, and that ball will be coming back their way almost imminently. And to go back to your point around resetting, Emma, the games that are coming up for West Ham United, well, of course, they're going to have to dust themselves down, having been outclassed by Renee Slager's Arsenal this afternoon. They've then got a home clash against London City Lionesses next weekend, and then a potentially season-defining game right at the foot of the table against Liverpool at the end of April. They then kick off May away to Aston Villa, who have also struggled in recent weeks. It will be for them a case of just picking up the points where they can against sides who surround them at the foot of the table.
Yeah, it's not easy, is it? It's what we want to see. We've been longing for a competitive, more competitive WSL for such a long time, and now we've got it. WSL, and you know, West Ham are struggling a little bit, as you've mentioned, and it is going to be the Liverpool game that they'll be looking at against City. Last game, really difficult. Realistically, they'll be still, you know, trying to get every point on the board. I don't think it's going to go to the last game, to be quite honest, but it could do. And then obviously Liverpool and Aston Villa for West Ham, they'd be hoping to get something out of them, but really difficult.
Bumps on by Hansen, that one straight into the path of Caldente. What a clever ball that was. And now Chloe Kelly! Oh, that's sensational! Well, she started off the scoring as the architects of Arsenal's opener. And she's now made sure of the 3 points with their third. An unstoppable strike from a player who is getting back to her best.
Unbelievable goal here. It's a great ball from Mariona into Blackstenius, but look at that strike from Chloe Kelly. Lovely, just turn back onto her left foot, and to have the confidence to strike it 22 yards out. Brilliant placement. Absolutely brilliant goal.
Chloe Kelly making up for lost time and desperate to leave those injury struggles behind her. It has been a decisive week on the pitch for her. She got an assist at London City Lionesses, a goal and an assist this afternoon. We still have upwards of half an hour to play in North London. Martinez can tease that one in. It's away by Holmberg. And picked up by Kelly. And look at the space in behind for Stina Blackstenius, who held her run. Blackstenius in there for 4. An excellent recovery challenge. Eva Nystrom made up a lot of ground there and is feeling the effects of it.
What a recovery from Nystrom. You really thought Blackstenius was home and dry there, but the amount of ground that Nystrom covered there was unbelievable. It's absolutely brilliant defending from her. She's done excellently there. Blackstenius was not aware that she was right there, was she? With any kind of pressure, she would have hit it with her left, but tried to bring it back onto her right. I have to say, it was great defending.
I count that as 4 clear-cut opportunities for Stina Blackstenius in this game. I think on that occasion we can give the benefit of the doubt to the defender, Eva Nystrom.
Are we going to do that?
Well, she delayed and delayed, didn't she? She invited the challenge. What I wanted to say is let's not take anything away from the tackle, but I think seeing that one back, Stina Blackstenius will be enormously disappointed with the amount of time and space she took.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic tackle, but you're expecting Blackstenius to score there, and just looking at Chloe Kelly's goal again. Fantastic check back in. She was teeing that up, wasn't she? But what a finish. Absolutely beautiful finish into that corner, and you can see King at full stretch. Brilliant goal.
Guess what we can say to Blackstenius' credit is that she will leave this game with an assist. It was Kelly that set her up, and Blackstenius has returned the favour.
Those are the ones that keep you up, I'm sure. Seeing as I have never scored before, as you have told the world.
I've also never scored, for reference.
I imagine those would keep you up at night.
Kinga Shemik still receiving treatment, so let's take a look at how Stina Blackstenius got us up and running this afternoon. Really wicked delivery in, wasn't it, from Chloe Kelly, dipping at just the right moment to cause problems in the defence.
Yeah, it was a great cross, and again, wonderful play from Arsenal. But if you were to be critical of West Ham, you could be. And Endo allowing that cross to go in, trying to cover it with her right foot when she has to go with her left there. Great ball in, but also Nystrom not covering that front post zone.
Rita Gaurino has had a bit of time now with her players. And we'll be looking for Shelina Zadorsky perhaps to add that bit more experience and just try to solidify at the back. The game's gone, which I don't think that will be any surprise to hear for West Ham players, fans, support staff alike. It is just a case now of damage limitation and just ensuring that this defeat doesn't impact the confidence that they were able to build up last time out against Manchester United.
Well, that's it, Max. That's what it's all about. Wonderful result on Wednesday and definitely put them in a much better position on the board and also mentally. You're always coming here a little bit anxious playing Arsenal at the Emirates. I've said it so many times before, and I've seen so many teams get absolutely annihilated here. It's about how you recover from that.
Changes are in the offing. We're seeing Theo Morgan and Shalina Zadorsky getting themselves ready to come on. A couple of Arsenal players too. Beth Mead, one of them. Victoria Pelova may be afforded the final half hour here as well.
Worryingly, Eva Nystrom might not be able to continue by the looks of it, especially if they're making these changes early. I'd imagine it is for Nystrom.
So Teneba, the first player to leave the pitch. She's had an incredibly difficult afternoon here. Really struggled to get herself into the game. So Theo Morgan on for some fresh legs, added energy. On the right-hand side, you would imagine.
Yeah, you'd imagine she'd come on. I wonder if Vondelor will come on the left-hand side, or will it be, well, Rita Guarino change to a 5-3-2.
My apologies, it is still Eva Nystrom who's down receiving treatment. It's not looking too nice for the Finland international, so...
Well, either Guarino has got the nod that she's fine, she's going to take a minute with her, or she's coming off because she's made the changes and Zadorsky's coming on for her.
They are still administering treatment on the pitch, so Arsenal will make their change instead. Beth Mead coming on, a fan favourite here in North London, replacing Alessia Russo, scorer of Arsenal's second goal this afternoon. And Kim Little will be wrapped up in cotton wool. They have a big few weeks coming up here. Arsenal, 2 legs of a Champions League quarter-final against Chelsea will sandwich a North London derby here next weekend. Stina Blackstenius also leaving the pitch. And Emily Fox joining the action.
You're right, Max. I think now's the time. And the fact that Renee Slegers can afford to look beyond this game at 3-0 up, to be able to rotate again and keep the legs fresh, is a huge, huge bonus, considering the importance of the games coming up also.
So what will be interesting here is to see just where Holmberg and Fox play. 2 right-backs on the pitch. It looks what we may see Holmberg pushed a bit further forward. She did often play there for Hammarby.
Yeah, but so can Fox, so we've seen Fox push really high this season as well. Guessing game is on.
Well, Chloe Kelly scored Arsenal's third. She also set up their opener. Let's take a look at how Arsenal have stormed into control in this game. This just 4 minutes in. A really inviting cross to be prodded home by Stina Blackstenius. Just about got the contact on that one. Maybe a stud to force it beyond Kinga Shemek. Disastrous start here in North London for Rita Guarino. And then the ball clips across, a really, really inviting delivery by Smilla Holmberg. on her full Barclays Women's Super League debut. She's able to leave with an assist, putting it on a plate for Alessia Russo right after the restart. And then when Blackstenius nudged it into the path of Chloe Kelly, there was only one thing on her mind, and didn't she finish it well? Chloe Kelly picking up her 3rd WSL goal this season, and in some style too.
Yeah, it looks even better from behind the goal, doesn't it? The angle, more difficult. Just looking at that second goal for Arsenal and Holmberg's cross in, it was Blackstenius run across that really dragged Nystrom out and just left that little space. A really important run. Sometimes we forget to mention other players' movements to help set that up.
Among their fellow Champions League chasers this season, Arsenal are leading most convincingly. Still just a goal separating Chelsea and London City Lionesses, while Manchester United are just about holding on to that 1-goal advantage at home to Everton. So nothing changes in the table, but with 2 games in hand for Arsenal, if all things go to plan for René Slager's side, they may just leapfrog their 2 rivals into 2nd.
It's all about those Champions League spaces, isn't it? First 3, United will be looking at Wednesday's drop points and ruin them, because that's very important, and it's very important to try and finish in the top 3.
She'll know exactly that. As mentioned, a big few weeks for Arsenal. They're at home to Chelsea on Tuesday, and then they're at home to Spurs, having drawn 0-0 away from home in the first North London derby of the season, so they'll be keen to put that one right. Spurs, I should say, coincidentally, are still 5-1 down away to Manchester City. A bruising defeat for them. Then Arsenal kick off April at Stamford Bridge for their 2nd leg of that Champions League quarter-final against Chelsea.
That's going to be a good one. Looking forward to that one. You know, Champions League is a different beast. Even though both teams are high up there and competing 2nd place, let's be honest, Champions League brings a completely different animal.
For Galrino, it's going to be a case of seeing out today and then just looking at what tomorrow brings in the Women's Super League. Liverpool away to Brighton and Hove Albion. They hover just above West Ham United. That will be their game in hand on this. And Leicester City just 3 points behind. They are hoping to get the better of Aston Villa. That's our later kickoff, 2:45 UK time on Sunday. It's not a sight that we want to see in football. A player leaving the pitch on a stretcher. That's the end of Eva Nyström's afternoon. Hopefully she is able to bounce back quickly. Shelina Zadorsky on in her place. Former Tottenham captain, of course, coming on to try to stop Arsenal from scoring.
Well, we wondered what was going to happen with Arsenal. It looks like Olivia Smith has gone up to the 9, and you were right, Max. Holmberg has pushed higher as the winger, with Emily Fox going back into her right fullback position.
Bit of a different role this for Beth Mead as well, number 10.
Absolutely. I've seen her play in there a couple of times, and she has been drifting more centrally this season. To start in there.
was a healthy stoppage there while Nystrom received treatment. Around over 10 minutes. She was on the deck, 12.5 minutes, we're being informed. So the Arsenal players, I think, will just be getting their touch back. For the likes of Pullover, Mead and Fox, who have just joined the pitch. Opportunity to get up to the speed of the game. Lost by Holmberg. Vonderla helped on for Martinez. Lovely bit of trickery there to get away from Wubben-Moy, who recovered just in the nick of time before Holmberg can clear her lines.
Really lovely feet from Shakira Martinez. We'll pick the team up a little bit better, higher up. It's really nice from Martinez, just lost it there again. Wubben-Moy did well to get back. But positive from West Ham.
Sadowski will get there ahead of her international teammates, Olivia Smith. That one's given straight back to Arsenal. Here's Caldente. Space now for Chloe Kelly. On her left foot again, this time into the side netting.
It's a tired pass from Katie Zellum, just losing it in a really important moment. Why wouldn't she shoot from there? No one can begrudge her that.
Really is flying high with momentum, Chloe Kelly. She is a confidence player, isn't she? And someone who is at her best when she has that level of arrogance. I don't mean arrogance in a bad way. I mean in a I can't be stopped sort of way.
Great player. What I admire most about Chloe Kelly is that she would be considered a bench player, and I don't mean that as an insulting way either. She's a fantastic impact player for England and Arsenal. There will be a moment where she is knocking on the door to start, and that is where the difficulties will come with such good players all at the one team.
They are having to be patient and wait for their opportunities, but as mentioned, with the Gunners competing on 3 fronts as we enter the back end of this season, those opportunities will come knocking. Here's Mead. Space for Pullover. Mead spots the run on that far side. It's a really inviting pass to bring Emily Fox into play, who has been able to keep that one on the pitch. Holmberg turns away from Blumu. Kelly. Mead. Clever play by Beth Mead on the edge of the penalty area. She's still going. Beth Mead. Delayed and delayed. Waited for the opportunity for the angle to open up.
It's really nice feet, though, in the box from Mead. Then she just loses it. It's a little bit messy, but not too far away either. Again, that time just to pick her corner out. as you'd expect it to slow down a little bit, considering they're 3-0 up. You'd also expect the subs, the impact players, to come on and be nice and energetic.
24,711 in attendance this afternoon. Enjoying the sun out there in North London. 24,000. Arsenal comfortably having the highest average attendance at their Barclays Women's Super League games this season.
Always good numbers at the Emirates. I think Arsenal, it's fair to say, Arsenal are leading the way in that catapult for women's football here. Huge fan base.
Down the line, looking for Vonderla. Progress halted first by Ruben-Moy, and then by Fox on back-up, who will win the free kick.
Just when you get forward, then you're up against Ruben-Moy and Emily Fox. Excellent defenders.
And a rare Belumu or Zellem. Katie Zellem, who does boast a really trustworthy deliverer of the ball. She leaves it, and Belumu can curl in and by Arsenal. An advantage really should have been played there.
Really, really disappointing, both from Belumu and the referee, not to allow that to play, as I'm sure the Arsenal players have let her know that. See how quick they are at breaking out. Yeah. See, Arsenal had the numbers up.
Belumu for Zellem. Trusting Cascarino there under enormous pressure from Olivia Smith. Another change. And a big beaming smile from Emma Byrne alongside me. Katie McCabe, her good friends. 10 years on from making her... Today makes number 296. She is ranked 8th in Arsenal's all-time appearance makers.
I mean, this team just doesn't look the same with it.
Thank you, goodness, for your incredible support today at Emirates Stadium. Today's crowd is
a whole nother level.
Here's Pelova.
Thank you for your magnificent support.
McCabe trying to nip in. Fascinating just seeing how Arsenal are lining up here, because Katie McCabe has shot onto the pitch straight into midfield. So at the moment, the midfield three for Arsenal. Victoria Pelova, OK, we're used to seeing that. But she's joined in there by Beth Mead and Katie McCabe.
Why not? Why not at 3-0 up? What positions would Renee Sleggers be worried about if they lost players? For example, Kimmy Little, midfield, Mariona. What happens there? Could you put Kate McCabe
given away, a chance for 4! +4. And Chloe Kelly is at the double. It is a carnival atmosphere here in North London. And everything is going their way.
Certainly don't need gifts like that one, though. West Ham trying to play their way out. And it's a really poor decision by Hansen. And Chloe Kelly will say thank you very much. An absolute gift for them.
Really poor by Tuva Hansen, who has played every single BWSL game since joining from Bayern in January. West Ham would have been counting on someone with that immense experience, both for club and country. And the 28-year-old has made a real error there, just to compound the misery on West Ham this afternoon. But Arsenal, you can tell that they can smell blood here.
Yeah, there's just no need for it, Max. Tuva Hansen could have taken it down. She could have played it back to her goalkeeper. Could have tried playing with her left foot. It's a really, really silly mistake. Now it's just about damage limitation, really, for West Ham.
Just cannot hold on to possession. Holmberg. Seems like a long time ago now that this game was very much on a knife edge because Arsenal weren't taking their chances. Imagine how devastating this scoreline would have been had Stina Blackstenius taken one of those many opportunities that fell her way inside the opening 45 minutes.
Well, that's it. I think if there's any negativity from this game, it will probably be with Blackstenius herself for not finishing those chances. But they are looking really strong, as they always do at home, Arsenal.
It has become this impenetrable fortress, Emirates Stadium. They are still yet to lose on home turf in the top flight this season. Just one defeat in their last 29 at the Emirates. Kelly delivers and had gone slightly too early. The referee, Phoebe Cross, says just hang on, wait, which I think will actually work to Arsenal's advantage here, as the ball in from Kelly wasn't the best and now is given the opportunity to retake that one.
Absolutely, and I think that's what the West Ham players are saying.
Take two. In by Kelly. Zadorsky happy to leave that one out and behind.
It was a carbon copy, wasn't it? Because the runs were made a little bit earlier. Ham can take out of this game, but one of them would be in their build. It's probably the only time they get to have a look and really keep possession as well. I don't think they've done that very well. A ball from Kinga, from a goal kick. You can control the game from there. I don't think Arsenal are pressing that aggressively, not to keep it.
Shakira Martinez has shown flashes, but all in all, she just hasn't had the service this afternoon. Serena Pubel on in her place. And here is a bit more experience. Verena Hanshaw on for Ines Balumu.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Hanshaw a little bit earlier, to be quite honest. Her experience, in fact, she's played so many minutes for West Ham under Skinner. Thought we might see her a little bit earlier on. I thought Balumu struggled towards the end of that first half.
And then Pubel as well, a player who perhaps hasn't been afforded the minutes in the BWSL that she would have wanted this season. Only 139 coming into this game from 11 appearances. Head down from Holmberg. Another great ball into the box. Hansen underneath it this time.
Been so impressed with her deliveries. Smilat Holmberg. Unbelievable balls. She gets right to the byline and lovely pullbacks. It's exactly what Alessia Russo and Blackstenius would be looking for.
Kelly was away, and Hansen, the player who gifted her a presence for Arsenal's fourth, now gets the accompanying card.
She got really tight there. Hansen. Kelly's really good at just turning and driving.
Katie McCabe, fresh onto the pitch. Left the last free kick for Chloe Kelly and has sent her away this time.
Just interested in looking at how West Ham are setting up. They don't have a player so much in the hole, so there's a massive gap between the wall and that dropping. So you can see Zellum trying to push Endo forward there.
In by McCabe, over everyone's head, and a real lack of communication there means Hanshaw is cleared up by Kelly. Strong and committed defending by Arsenal's number 18. Through the lines, there's Chloe Kelly. Numbers forward again, and it was very nearly forced in by Beth Mead. Tuva Hansen with some last-ditch defending.
It's a great ball in, wasn't it, from Pelova? Such a clever pass back from Chloe Kelly. Really lovely pullback. Hansen very close to her own goal and off balance. She just did the job.
Still the danger not yet cleared for West Ham United. Short Arsenal go from the corner. Fired in by McCabe, it won't quite drop for Pelova. McCabe hits one but gets right underneath that.
It's a bit easy for Arsenal. They're only, which means they're allowed to get their shots on target. You can just see in there 20 shots. 10 on target, and only that's still very lonely looking one for West Ham.
Which was what, about 45 seconds into this game. Almost the entirety of this match being played inside the West Ham half. Well, London City Lionesses have levelled against Chelsea. Chelsea now just... Fox on the up.
Great team goal for Arsenal.
She loves a London derby, does Beth Mead. She also loves playing against West Ham United.
Confirmation of the fourth official has added 14 minutes.
The 14th time
14 minutes.
that she has been directly involved in a goal in this competition against the Hammers. And speaking of 14, we have 14 minutes added on here at the end of this game, so don't go anywhere just yet. That is plenty of goals. Here's Zellem. Pubel is one of the players inside the penalty area to aim for. It would be hooked clear. And then Zadorsky fired up towards Endo. Not the most convincing of goalkeeping from Annika Borber.
Certainly not. Borber's shaking her head. She won't be happy with that. To do at all here today, and those are the moments they need to stay switched on for, as difficult.
So Beth Mead there, just offering a bit of encouragement to her goalkeeper. Keep your focus, as Emma Byrne says. Corner fizzed in, away by Wubben-Moy. Hanshaw. Pubel on the move. And that one will be much better dealt with by the German between the sticks for Arsenal.
Yeah, it wasn't a great ball in, was it? But I have to say, Serena Pubel, after coming on, does look a little bit lively. She certainly brings a bit of energy on there.
Here's Holmberg. Needed stayed wide. Cordina. Arsenal waiting to make one more change, and it's going to be one which will get a huge reception here inside Emirates Stadium, as it will be a Barclays Women's Super League debut for 18-year-old Sophie Harwood. Mead. McCabe will fancy this. Even from here, you could see her eyes light up.
I'm thinking, this is dangerous. Putting Katie McCabe in there, because she will shoot. And she's going to have more opportunity from central areas than she would from left back.
Vonderland trying to get around Smila Holmberg, who was strong. over, switching play.
It's also good to see Pelova on the pitch as well, isn't it? Getting minutes. I think she's such a good player. Really, really intelligent player. Probably not getting enough minutes in this team. Really difficult to do that with the calibre of players they have. It's the same with the national team, not getting enough minutes.
Morgan pulled back. So now the change will be made, and what a lovely moment this will be for Sophie Harwood and her family. Still just 18 years old, signed her first deal back in January. And now she'll be able to say that she has played in the top flight of women's football.
Absolutely brilliant. You know, that's what you can do when you've secured the game. It's really, really important to give the youngsters these moments, this experience, and particularly because it's here at the Emirates. She won't forget this in a hurry.
Vondeler trying to find a way past Emily Fox. Katie McCabe with some good positional awareness there, and Hines can clear. Harwood will give chase, putting pressure on Hansen. Searan. Endo's cross. Kept alive at that far post by Hanshaw. And Zellem doesn't have the legs to get there first.
Yeah, disappointing end to that build-up. Because it was nice play from West Ham. They did well. So the Gunners happily to cruise to victory here, as they just play out these final few minutes, of course, that were added on following the injury to Eva Nystrom. And they're sending Emily Fox forward as they go in search of a sixth. And crucially, they will be buoyed by the scores currently across the landscape at the top of the Barclays Women's Super League table. Everton, through Inma Gabarro, have scored a 90th minute equaliser against Manchester United.
To be replaced by 21, Sarah Brazzero.
One more change for West Ham United. Sarah Brazzero coming on in place of Leila Vondeler.
Vondeler has really worked extremely hard today. Really difficult job that she had. She's got a well-deserved rest. That table's really changing, isn't it, today? Really exciting. And, you know, it's these moments in the season that you need personality. And you can really see the pressure on the likes of Manchester United and Chelsea. Arsenal can certainly see second place in their sights, and they will be the ones to put pressure on Manchester City for the remaining of the season, because I cannot see Arsenal slipping up at all. So pressure is on.
Fox. Now McCabe.
That was a great idea from Victoria Pelova. She's so good at that, getting on the ball. She's really good vision. West Ham defender did well to cover off.
It was a heavy knock though, wasn't it? Now requires a bit of medical treatment. A bit of a winding for Beth Mead.
I'm always worried when a player goes down and doesn't move, but I can see some movement now, which is reassuring.
Serena Pubau has been booked for that incident there. But you do wonder just how, and look, you'll have experience of this now, Emma, as a manager yourself. You pick up players after such a heavy defeat. They were never going to come into this game as favourites, of course, but having worked so hard to get something out of the game in midweek, to follow it up a few days later with what has been, for lack of a better word, a demolition job by Arsenal here.
Yeah, it's difficult. You know, it's difficult in especially seeing as where they're sitting on the table. It is all about bringing up confidence. But you have to say that teams come here and they do get absolutely torn apart by this team, so they're not on their own, and top teams have come here and reduced to this as well, so that's how you do, you compare them.
Floated in by Kelly. It bounced a couple of times, but Kinga Shemik was able to get hold of it. Manchester United have managed to nick a late winner to make it 2-1 against Everton. Malvine Mallard striking in the 4th minute of added time.
Wow, I'm sure they celebrated that goal. Of course, it has to be Malvine Mallard. What a season she's having with them.
So back up to second they go, Manchester United. Chelsea were unable to take all 3 points home from East London and London City Lionesses. So that means they remain just 2 points ahead of Arsenal. United within a win. And the Gunners flying high, having netted 5 goals here this afternoon. Still in search of their 6th. Here's Harwood.
Just trying to see it out, really, aren't they? If they could get one back, that would be the confidence builder they need.
Pupil it was giving chase. Pupil it was who was beaten to the ball by Annika Borber, who takes a very cynical look at her wrist as if to say to referee Phoebe Cross, well, how much longer are we going to have here? Well, how's that for a statement from Arsenal? An emphatic 5 goals for a Gunners side who are returning to their very best at the perfect time of this season. They're within 2 points of Chelsea, they're within 3 of Manchester United, and crucially, they still have 2 games in hand in the race for European football. Stina Blackstenius it was who got them off to a lightning fast start before Alessia Russo got in on the act just after half-time. A double from Chloe Kelly was followed up by a late cameo goal from Beth Mead, as Arsenal were able to tear through what was a resolute West Ham United defence on Wednesday. West Ham, they're going to continue to look over their shoulders. For Arsenal, the only way is up as it finishes here at Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 5, West Ham United 0. Well, incredible scenes out there. Emma Byrne, and you enjoyed one player's performance. Well, there you are, your Barclays Player of the Match was.
I'm going to give it to Chloe Kelly, just simply because she was unstoppable. She, right from start to finish, really dangerous player. Great assist, or was it a goal? I'm not sure who got the first one, but her goal was amazing. So I think she's been excellent here today, considering she's been struggling with injuries. What performance she's given. She looks sharp as ever.
Stina Blackstenius as well. We know what it's like with her. She'll get into the positions. She'll take some chances, some she may not, but it is the most important thing that she is still getting into those positions.
Absolutely.
In the first place.
And you know, she scores really, really important goals. So you'd forgive her for missing a few, but in general, a really strong performance. And in whole, from the Arsenal team, you know, results around them really matter, and they look like the team who are just pushing on really strong.
Not only that, Renee Slakers was able to rest a few big names from kick-off, but also then with plenty of time left as well. Lots of changes to today's game ahead of a really, really busy period full of massive games for them. Now though, let's head back down pitch side. Sophie Downey is chatting to Player of the Match, Barclays Women's Player of the Match, Chloe Kelly.
Hi Chloe, congratulations, a big win here today. How do you sum up that performance?
Yeah, unbelievable, a great team performance. To be back here at the Emirates of our fans is so special here.
A really special performance for you as well. 2 goals and a half and an assist.
Yeah, I'm going to chat to Stina about that. But no, I think it was a great team performance, clinical in front of goal, and really happy. And our attention moves now into the Champions League. We need to rest, recover and go again.
I know you love playing here. To be able to score back in front of these fans at the Emirates, that's very special.
Yeah, it's amazing. I loved every minute of being back at this club, and I've got more to give. I want to keep improving and keep learning and showing exactly what I can do, and hopefully keep pushing on this season.
It felt like the link up between you, Stina, Alessia and Olivia Smith was really working today. How much have you been working on that in training?
Yeah, I think it's really important building relationships off the pitch so that on it you work really well together, and we're doing just that at the moment. And we know off the bench players scoring it's really important that we use our whole squad, and we're enjoying playing football at the Emirates. So.
And your 9th consecutive win in all competitions, so the confidence is really high, right?
Yeah, really important that we keep moving forward with that, and another clean sheet for Neki today. She's been unbelievable for us, and we want to keep building momentum, keep pushing on. This back at the end of the season is really important, so keep building momentum.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, and congratulations. You are the Barclays Player of the Match.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Renee Slagers, quite rightly, with a massive smile on her face. Her side have returned to their free-flowing best this afternoon in front of 24,000 at Emirates Stadium. And results across the league, certainly one in particular, has gone her way. London City Lionesses holding Chelsea to a 1-1 draw. Manchester City right at the top of the table. They were flying as they went into half-time, 5-1 up. Tottenham did manage to get a goal back, but Manchester City's lead was too much, so they continue to do well at the top of the league. Manchester United, were it not for a late goal by Melvin Mallard, would have been subjected to even more frustration this week, but that will give them a massive boost going into the run-in. So how does that impact the standings? Well, Manchester United reclaim second spots after 18 match days in the Barclays Women's Super League. Chelsea now just 2 points ahead of Arsenal. Arsenal, of course, with 2 games in hand. At the bottom of the table, if Leicester City win tomorrow, they can draw level with West Ham United, who will be getting more nervous as the weeks go on. So a 5-goal victory for Arsenal this afternoon. Let's take a look back at some of the key moments from today's game. And it got off to a perfect start, didn't it, Emma Byrne? Cross from the left-hand side by Chloe Kelly. Stina Blackstenius sniffing around inside the penalty area.
Yeah, it's all about the cross. Chloe Kelly putting it into that dangerous zone. West Ham just not able to stop the cross one or get across with Stina Blackstenius. You can see the frustration in their manager, Rita Garino.
And then you thought, well, just keep things tight as we go into the second half. This just around 60 seconds after the restart. Smilla Holmberg putting it right on the head of Alessia Russo.
What cross from Holmberg, absolutely beautiful cross into the box. Great run from Stina Blackstenius to take a player away and make it a little bit easier for Russo. It's a great header.
And this, one of the best hits of the afternoon. Chloe Kelly taking it by the scruff of its neck, set up by Stina Blackstenius this time and rifling into that far corner.
Yeah, certainly the best individual goal. Brilliant strike from Chloe Kelly. So difficult for the goalkeeper to get it. Absolutely buried it.
And this one, West Ham United, just guilty of gifting it straight back to Arsenal, straight back to Kelly, who was able to grab her second of the game.
Yeah, unfortunate. Big mistake from Hansen, who I thought saved them a couple of times. Too casual in defending, should have went back to goalkeeper or should have opened up and played out to her right side.
She enjoyed that one, Chloe Kelly. But you enjoyed this one, didn't you? The build-up through, Beth Meads in the middle. Out to Holmberg on the right-hand side, but it's all about the interplay here and understanding the space inside the West Ham United penalty area. Onto Meads' left foot, and she was able to hit the back of the net.
Brilliant team goal. Really nice, intricate passing, and an absolutely beautiful finish from Beth Mead, which is something she does so well from that side. Right opposite corner, great finish, great team goal.
Chloe Kelly, the Barclays Player of the Match this afternoon, has had a day to remember in North London. So too, all of those travelling Arsenal fans, they are still flying high, still unbeaten at home, whereas West Ham United's London derby struggles continue. Full time here at Emirates Stadium is Arsenal 5, West Ham United 0.